Good morning. This is some stuff I created. Some new trading I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be doing more momentum trading. Uh, I've done all types of trading, but recently in the last while I've been doing more scalping. So the market rips and I take advantage of the fast move and I scalp it back down. So um, I'm still looking at momentum, I guess you could say, but instead of trying to catch the end of the momentum or the top, I'm catching the start of the momentum now. Um, and I made a suite of indicators to help me with that. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Now everything isn't refined. Everything was built on the NQ, so you can see the signals where these aren't signals, but this is where things print is proper. But if you go look at other ones, they're not. So the tick distance is set differently. Well, it's set for NQ, and then when I apply it to other charts, the ticks are a bit different. So, I still got some modifications to do, but it works wicked. So, we're going to roll with this for a while and have a good time. I got two charts, so I use the Heiken-Ashi. And I use the one of I trade the 2 minute NQ mostly for this. I look at the 1 minute just to see what's going on, and then I have the YM, the RTY up. It does work all right for gold, but momentum's best on NQ, and the YM will trend pretty good too. RTY when it's in play. When we're in a bear market and stuff, the RTY, the small caps, they're not so hot. So you kind of got to watch for that. But I got the GC up there. I got gold up there. Gold, yeah, I don't know. I have a hate love with gold. There's a signal right there for gold. It worked out really good actually. So what I have at the bottom is I got order speed. So this literally is telling me what the speed of the orders is. The top is telling me momentum. The background change is an ATR calculation. It's actually an indicator. This is just a moving average wave. The outline of the bars change. There's another calculation to determine what the color the outline of the bar is. The body of the bar is dependent on the moving averages. So even though this is, an up bar, it's red because where it is on the moving averages. And the moving averages, you'll see the lines change color depending on slope. So if it's sloping down, it's red. If it's sloping up, it's green. The actual lines, but the cloud in between it just shows the crossover. So if the slow moving average is above the fast, it'll be red because it's trending down. So the moving average slope will give you a heads up saying, hey, we might actually have a crossover on the moving averages to get a full green. But yeah, there's quite a few calculations involved. It's not basic. I'll go through it one day, but a couple ways to trade it really. I also have ghost signals too. So I have something that'll print before this candle when the conditions are right for the signal to print, just to give you a heads up that it might print on the next candle. But that comes and goes. It'll come and disappear. Once the candle closes, it disappears, or once the conditions aren't there for a signal to print, it disappears. But anyways, so the idea is that you get in. So here's the green. There's two ways. You can get in as soon as it prints, or you can wait for it to close for confirmation. So the conservative, you got to be above the moving averages, these bigger ones, the 50 and the 100. So basically the idea is the signal comes in, you're checking momentum's good, you're checking order speed is decent, but it's not up to these extremes. If you have extreme order speed, it's likely to come back down. So we're not at extreme. The background's green. The moving average cloud is green. The bar outlines are green. The bars are green. You get the signal. You enter the open of this candle, and you put your stop. I like 2 candles ago. I like to stop there. Heiken actually doesn't show the real close, but it'll probably be somewhere, we'll say, around here. Had to be above this blue line. And then as far as managing, so the stop, the entry, as far as managing it, you can do like a 1-to-1 risk reward, 1-to-2. Can try to stay in the trend and trail. So as long as everything's green, the bars are green, the bar outline's green, the background's green, the slope, the moving averages are green, but the slope is up, so they're green. The moving averages haven't crossed down, so the cloud is green. You can kind of just ride the trend until maybe it crosses down below the moving averages, or you start to see, the outline of the bar changing color, or you see momentum dropping to negative. But you could have took this trade and basically got out. I would have. That's pretty high order speed, but that's got to see when it happened. But right there, I see extreme order speed. So if I was in this trade, I would be getting out right now. Because when I see extreme order speed, that's an indication that it could be coming down. Doesn't mean it won't go further, but it's got to pull back a little bit. So that's the idea of it, more or less. You can just take like a 1-to-1 scalp. You can, however you want. But I mean, for this trade, it would have been clear as day. The momentum's up. Order speed is decent, but it's not extreme. It's just flowing. Everything's good. Everything's green. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezies. Take a look at NQ on Friday. Now this week's been a good week, so I can say I'm not cherry picking, and I'm not, but it just happened to be a good week. So here we are at the 9:30 open. Signal prints. You can wait a second. Momentum's down. Background's red. Moving average cloud's red. Bar outline's red. We're below the 1 and 200 moving averages. This is VWAP. I don't necessarily use it to trade in a way, but I just like to have it there. So signal comes in. We'll probably put this, so you would, if you want to be conservative, you wait for this to open. I think the entry is probably down around here. I like 2 candles back and a couple ticks, and then a 1-to-1. I like it like that because if the market has a small range, your 1-to-1 will be smaller. Like you'll get less ticks. But if it's huge, like if these last candles are huge, like 50 points each, you're going to have a bigger target because the risk reward is a ratio of the distance between the last 2 candles. So it's like a dynamic way to trade rather than saying I only want to have 50 tick stop. Well, some days the market's moving a lot and some days it's not. So to say I only want a 50 tick stop when the ATR is through the moon, it doesn't make sense. So that's why I like dynamic stops, because if the market's pushing hard, you get a bigger target as well, and it gives it room to breathe. So I would recommend a dynamic stop for trading this, which means a ratio. You stop 2 candles back and take a ratio of that, whether it's 1 to 1, 2 to 1. In this case, a 1 to 1 would have been probably about there. But again, if you have more patience and you want to hang on to it, there was really no reason to get out there. Order speed wasn't extreme. Momentum was down. Everything was down. It may be looking like it's getting oversold, but it, it went. How far did it go? That's crazy. I can't even believe that. 22,190. Yeah, so like almost 400 points. It'd be like 1,200 ticks. And if you just got out when the background changed, look, you could have caught that whole thing. There's a signal. If you got in on the signal, you could have caught 1,200 ticks if you just waited for it to either cross above the moving average cloud, or to wait for the background to change, or to even just wait for one of these diamonds. They just signify a shift in momentum, I guess you could say. That's all it does. It just tells you something. So even if you just waited, sometimes you can just wait for that to get out. So you look for the diamond, you say, okay, well, the momentum's starting to shift. We got the bar outline starting to turn green. That's momentum shift. We got background green, and we got a diamond green. These things are all saying, okay, momentum's starting to shift. We got the slope going up on the moving averages, starting to turn green. That would be a really good time to get out, and I think it kept going down, but you never know what's going to happen. That was just one of those days yesterday. So, it's a quick explanation. Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna create another chat room, another like chat channel for the trading. That way we can talk a little more and chat a little more without bugging everybody in the group if they don't want to be notified. So, of course, at the bottom's the bar timer. I'm sure that was obvious, but yeah. So if you're trying to get in on a trade, the conservative way. Well, here's the signal here. So you would have waited for this candle to close. So you want to know, hey, when's this going to close? Now this one, here's the other thing. I guess I look at price action too, which is what I didn't mention. Personally, I wouldn't like this trade. Well, I wouldn't trade. I'm not so hot at trading this time for momentum. But the signal prints, everything looks good, but look at the big bottom wick. To me, that's not telling me down momentum. That's telling me it's struggling. And that would disqualify the trade for me. Not to say it won't go down, but it would disqualify it for me, because when I see a signal, I want to see the push candle. These are Heikin-Ashi. So on the 1 minute, it looks better, but we'll just use that as an example. See the signal come up. We wait for it to close. Okay. Order speed isn't extreme. If it is extreme, that doesn't mean I wouldn't take the trade. It just means I'm not going to get in exactly at the open. I'm going to wait a sec for it to pull back. And extreme is going to be like above the cyan up to the dark blue. Anyways, I like to see the candle push. No top wick and a small bottom wick, along with the signal. That's confirming momentum. When I see one like this with a big wick on the bottom, that's not confirming momentum to me. That's telling me it's struggling. Now, like I said, you may or may not keep going, but it's just not telling me momentum. But that is. So it's all momentum based. Momentum and order speed. Now, a lot of people put volume on their charts. I don't put volume on here. I don't use volume. I like volume, but the right type of volume. I like to look at order speed. To me that's more important than volume. I want to see where the market's going and how fast the orders are happening. Sometimes you can have all the volume in the world and not go anywhere. It's like if you had a truck with a trailer on it and you were going up a hill, you could put the pedal to the floor and you're not going to go that fast. It's just how it is. There's a lot of resistance in the way, gravity and everything else. But if you're unloaded and you're facing downhill with a tailwind, you're not going to need a lot of gas to get that truck going because there's no resistance in front of you. So that's sometimes the problem with volume, is that you could have a lot or a little and it doesn't necessarily mean anything. You can interpret it in different ways. It can be valuable, but it's not always as valuable as people like to say it is. So I don't necessarily look at volume. I look at orders and the way they come into the market and the momentum. So that's why I don't use volume here. I don't need it. I just need to know where the momentum is, where the trend is, and where the momentum is. Because you can go up. I've seen markets go up on thin volume, no volume. They just go up, 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 because there's nothing in the way. Especially when you have runs like this. Okay, so look at this run. The order flow is going to be really thin there. The book's going to be thin on one side. Very thin. And it's not going to take much to get through that, to rebalance. Up here, the order book's going to be thick. It's going to take a lot more volume to get through that and move around. So I don't necessarily care a whole lot about the volume. So that's that for now. Yeah, any questions? I'm going to work on some things. Usually coffee's in here, chatting, and holy moly. But I'm going to work on a couple of things with the group. And I can bring up any charts. If you have any questions or anybody has questions, I can bring up charts and just take a look at them, analyze them. It doesn't have to be my indicators here. It could be anything. I trade all types of styles. Well, I have, not all at once. But, yeah, I mean, I've helped guys with their trend line strategies, showing them indicators that might be useful. Yeah, see, that wasn't very good. It's coming up now. Momentum's starting to shift. Bar outlines turning green, slopes coming up. If we can get good momentum and break above the 1 and 200, that might be a decent long setup. Yeah, so the cloud's green here, even though it's down. That's just a glitch. So the code's got some glitch in it. I've been working on it, but kind of just threw it together last last couple days. Well, you know, I put a lot of time into it and just wing it, but there's still some things to work through. So that's a minor glitch. Here and there, it'll have the wrong color. Why? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, for the cloud, it's clear that the fast is below the slow. Like, you know, it's not crossed over to the upside. So I just kind of left it for now. I know a lot of guys like gold. I don't know about gold. Well, I guess that was a good trade. Here, look at this. Hopefully you're watching. I think when I first started the stream, I was talking about the extreme order speed here on this candle and how I'd be getting out. I'm not saying it would be turning around or what it would be doing, but I would just get out. And you know what? It did work out that way. It did come back down, and now it's chopping. Like, this is almost like, there's not a lot of things that are 100% in the market, but when it spikes above this dark blue line and it gets, the order speed gets way, that's exhaustion. The market's exhausting itself. It's, you know, it's given all it's got, and it has to sit down and take a rest for a minute. So that's why I look at order speed. Because if I'm getting in and I see that, well, then I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait for it to come down a little bit. So even there, we had a bit of a spike, but I would watch because I see a bottom wick. If that order speed spiked up right here at the at the 50, if that's where the order speed come in and then right after it price come up, that's kind of a good sign. That's not exhaustion. That's an extreme amount of volume and orders pushing the market back up. So that's a good type of order speed. It dipped down really quick, or it got pushed down and sucked up real quick. This is just the market makers playing games. They pulled liquidity, thinned out the book, made the order shoot down quick, grabbed some liquidity, hit some stops as fuel to keep going. But if you look over here, it's got a top wick. That's different. We had high order speed, but then it was on a top wick and come down. So these are two different events. So, yeah. Oh, hey, who do we got? Holy moly, what's going on? How are you? I'm good. Tired, running on a couple hours sleep the last couple days, but we're moving on. How was your weekend, man? Decent, eh? Did you get some rest after? Did you rest up after all that meat there on Friday? What were you busy doing? Okay, yeah. Yep, I understand. Yeah, I mean, it was a good weekend. Good. I went skating there. We got an ice rink here in town, so I went skating a couple times. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get. Yeah, not a. I guess it's just a Canadian lifestyle. I gotta get a hockey stick because there's some hockey nets at the rink, so shoot some pucks maybe. That's about it. Other than that, I was just working on this indicator stuff. So yeah, I did. Well, you know what? Part of the issue is I don't know how to code, so that kind of makes it harder when you're trying to code something and you don't know how to code. It poses a challenge. But You know what? But I got AI to do it, all the coding. So yeah, so I guess I'll get good at learning how to talk to the AI and telling it what it needs to know to do what I want rather than actually writing the code. But I'll learn because I'll have an error, right? And I'll say, hey, this has an error. Can you tell me why and fix it? It'll say, oh, well, this, that, this, that. This is why it has an error. This is how we're going to fix it. So I guess it is like a way kind of to learn on the spot. So yeah, it is good. I am learning a bit. I'm not going to sit down from scratch and just type out a whole code because what for? But yeah, you learn some things and the limitations. Yeah, whenever I do things like to color, like to color background or to color in between the moving averages or something, when it comes to colors, it always struggles and causes errors. But other things it's really good at. So yeah, it needs improvements, but I like it. Like sometimes, if you look on my screen share in the top left, RTY, the cloud's supposed to be red between the moving averages because it's down, but for some reason it shows green. So there's a little bit of a glitch there where it's turning the wrong color. And I did have other glitches. Yeah, and I have this thing for like I call it liquidity zones, so it just marks like the pivot points and it makes a zone. And yeah, that thing it's causing me errors too. Like it'll always glitch out the chart and cause an error, so I didn't put that on. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, oh, um, well, yeah. I mean, I like it on InterTrader because the problem is I can't do anything on TradingView. Like, I was just trying to get in on candle close. I was trying to make a script where, hey, when the candle close, enter my order, put my stop here, and calculate. It can't do any of that. Like you've got no options. Yeah, and you can only go back. See, and that's the other thing. I can fire up Market Replay on here and watch things live and test, and I can go back years. I've got data for 3 or 4 years ago, so I can go to any day for. It's just not to me. TradingView is just too basic. I mean, it's really good for what it is, but it's not good for what I like. I don't like trading on it. I don't have my trade copier is not on it, and yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things I have. Yeah, so I'll show you. I have a strategy too. It's something I bought. I've had it for a while. So on the side, there's chart trader, but then on the side I've got this, and it's like an automated entry, so I can turn it for auto on. So which means it detects my signals on the chart, and I could hit if I hit short right now. If I hit short, it's gonna wait until a signal pops up, my down signal, and if it does, it's gonna enter right away. I've also got manual options. So if I seen the signal here and I was like, okay, I want to wait till the next bar opens, and I'm waiting and it's about to open, I can hit enter short on bar close. So as soon as this bar closes, boom, it's going to get me in short with a strategy. So I'm on a sim account, so I'll do it right now. And what it'll do is it's going to go one bar back plus 10 points, and then it's going to do a 1 to 0.85 risk reward ratio. And I can set it up as an ATR stop, or I can do anything. So look, the market's slow, but that's one bar plus 10 points. And then this is a 1 to 1.85 risk reward. I can, whatever, there's just way, way more things to do with TradingView. But I put the code in AI to see like how it calculated some things. And I've done things different. The signals aren't exactly the same. The background's pretty much the same. I took almost the exact same calculation for the background. Yeah. Oh, no problem. There's always problems. Yeah, it's semi-automatic. It can be fully automatic. I mean, I could just leave this on, long and short. Boom. I've got, for my indicators in my menu, I have filters. I call it RipTide. It's going to be called RipTide. So I can filter signals just like before. So sync signals with background color, which means I'm only going to get a short if the background's red. And there's a calculation for the background. It's not just anything. It's an ATR calculation. So sync signals with background, moving average period 1, 2, and 3, and I can filter signals by moving average. I've also got what I call, yeah, and I also got lightning trend, which is just, it's a moving average, but it includes ATR and CCI periods with a multiplier. So I can use that if I want. It's kind of like Magic Trend or Super Trend, if you ever heard of it. And so I have Lightning Trend 1, 2, and 3. I have sound alerts for the signals. And I also have ghost signals. So what that is like the signal is the arrow. But it only happens on the open of the candle. But if the math is right, for a signal to print, the ghost signal is going to pop up as a little circle, and it's going to turn on and off depending on if the criteria is met for a signal to print. So what this does is it gives you a heads up that a signal might print on the next bar. So I mean that's completely custom. That's something I totally thought up myself, and that's it for that millimeter. This is just like an oscillator from here, but I modified it to have a couple lines and change the colors. But yeah, so RipTide. But yeah, I don't know. Like TradingView is all right, but Ninja's where it's at. I got the bar timer here, order speed. So this one, I remember before the other trading I was doing, the other style, the rip and dip stuff. Yeah, so it used to print an arrow on the chart beside the candle. It would have a white arrow or a cyan or a dark blue one. And that told you when the order speed was high. So with that indicator, there's a second one, which is just called the level. So it's the same thing, but instead of printing an arrow on the chart, and I can have them both, but instead of printing an arrow on the chart, it gives you like an oscillator at the bottom. So this is that speed tick, it's called. So right here, if it went above that white, it would have printed a speed tick on the chart. It would have printed a dark blue one here. So I'm using that to look at order speed. And I just want to, I like to look at order speed too. So I'm looking at momentum. This calculates the speed of every order coming in the market. So, in the last 10 seconds, if 20,000 orders come through, it would calculate that and put it here. So this is a pretty powerful indicator, to be honest. And it's literally, yeah. And just to know things, you want to know what it tells me. If I'm looking at a trade setup, and I see order speed way up here above the big blue, I'm not going to get in because I know order speed is extremely high. Price is likely getting a little bit exhausted, and it's going to probably come back down, just like my rip and dip. I would rather short it back down for a couple ticks and take it. So that's why I use that. And I was explaining earlier on GC here. See, if I was in this trade going up and up and up, maybe the market maker shot down to pull some liquidity from the moving average 50. But if I saw this candle on gold and I was in the trade and I saw order speed like this, that's extreme. Look at that order speed. That's the biggest in probably hours. That's extreme order speed. That means it's kind of like the market had the top blew off of a pop bottle. You know what I mean? Like it's exhausted. That was its last push. It's got to cool down and take a breath before it goes higher. So if I was in a trade and I saw that and it closed, I would get out. That's extreme order speed. It's likely to become exhausted and pull back a little bit. It may not reverse, but it could reverse. So that's one way I use order speed with this. And that's something you don't get on the Trading View. I don't even know if you have I don't even know if it's possible. So, I mean, I could go on all day. I could go on all day, but yeah, plus I have probably almost like 30 or 40 indicators that aren't included in NinjaTrader. And I just have like add-ons and stuff. So, bought ones, free ones. And you know, it's also this order entry thing. Like, I mean, I can set multiple targets, multiple stops. I can trail based on the last candle. I could trail based on an average true range line. I could do breakouts. So if I could set this to, I think, buy high, sell low. And what it would do is if I hit enter long, it would put like a ghost line here and a ghost line there, depending. And if it broke above that and I had enter long enabled, it would get in as soon as it breaks above this line. Or if I, wanted to go short with the buy high, sell low, it would get in the trade once it broke down here. So you could use that for like Fed day. If you're looking at 5-minute candles and the Fed guy's about to speak, you could do the buy high, sell low, and then if it rocketed up real quick, you would get in because it started to go that way. So I mean, there's so many different ways. I could do break above VWAP, get in. I could do whatever. There's so many. I could wait for buy signals. So I just have way more options. So I love it. I love it. I can combine both. Oh, for the entry? I don't know for the manual part. I don't know everything about this. Update lines. Yeah. It's I've had it for a while. It's called Predator Order Entry. This isn't something I made. This is something I bought a long time ago. So, and I've ran it on full auto. You know what I did? So I took this NQ 2-minute Heikin-Ashi and I pulled up market replay from January 6th this year to last Friday. And I left it on auto, long and short. I had it on. I'm going to turn it off now, even though I'm in sim. I left it on auto on, long and short, and I took every signal. My stop was just the previous candle, and my target was a 1-to-1 ratio. So wherever it was, last candle, 1-to-1 ratio. And ended up coming out with 1,200 ticks on full auto. So this is like all through the night, all through the day, all times a day, everything. So it was pretty fun. So, there's a ghost signal. Are you looking at the stream? It's ready to go, but I have a filter set that it has to be above the 100 and the 50. So all the conditions are good for a signal, but it's just not above the 50, which it has to be. So as soon as it breaks there, it'll probably bring up a ghost signal. And that's going to tell me, hey, we're getting ready. The next bar might print. See? Well, how much time we got left? A minute. If that closes above the 50, it's going to print a signal. And let's say, okay, I'm really liking it. I see momentum's up. I see order speed isn't too bad. Whatever. Who knows what I see, but say I like it. So right now I would use this auto on long, and it's set to only find my signals. Oh, what, then the trading view stuff? I mean, it could be similar. You could just take a look. Here's a triple G. Candle's green, background's green, lines are green, momentum's green. Boom, there's a triple G if you want it. Triple R. Candle's red, the lines are red, the background's red. Momentum isn't, but you know what I mean? Boom, there's a triple R. If you want. Yeah, so it doesn't work out as much on this. So the alignment, here's my 1 minute chart and here's my my 2 minute chart, right? So an alignment would be if we got a signal on one of these candles and it lined up with one of the 2 minute candles, that would be an alignment. But the Heikin-Ashi, so the Heikin-Ashi candle, do you know how they work? These aren't time, like they're a little different, right? And they're calculated based on an average of the previous candle and this and that. So in TradingView, the way they calculate the Heikin-Ashi candle is different from the way NinjaTrader calculates the Heikin-Ashi candle. And on top of that, that indicator we're looking at, it modifies the Heikin-Ashi candle again, and it changes the way it prints as well. So there's a little bit of discrepancy, a decent discrepancy between how the Heikin-Ashi candles are printing in NinjaTrader versus how they print on TradingView. So what'll happen is that'll change some things, right? That's going to change some moving averages. It's going to change some calculations. So it's different. So I'm not seeing as many alignments on this as I would on the TradingView stuff. But what I do see is some of these signals are better. Are better. Like if you go back 2 weeks for the NASDAQ 2 minute, and you just take the first signal at market open, and you just put the stop at the previous candle plus a bit, and do like a 1-to-1. It's like 100% risk, 100% win rate over the last 2 weeks. Just taking the first signal at market open. I didn't have time to go back. I was trying to find a loser. So it's different. I think the signals are more accurate. They're more powerful. And the way it actually prints the signal is a little bit different too. It kind of uses stochastics. So yeah, I mean stochastic RSI. This is the MFI indicator. The bar outline, that's another calculation. So you'll notice that the bar's outline changes color. And then you'll notice the bar, sometimes there's an up bar like here, but it's still red. Well, that's because it's below, because the moving averages are red. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things to it. I just kind of went, I went down a rabbit hole, man. Because I've always had so many ideas, things I want to try, and I've done a few of them, but it's cost money, right? And I don't even know how I got on it. I was just playing with scripts and whatever. And I kind of figured out, hey, I can make stuff using AI. Yeah, it's not easy, and you get errors, and you got to work it out. But so I just kind of went haywire. I'm like, it's like a dream come true. It's like, oh, I can code, I can do anything I want, I can try anything I want. It doesn't cost any money. It's just free. So I just went haywire. I tried a bunch of stuff, changed this, changed that. take two oscillators and got it to calculate together. Like, I couldn't get it to work, but what I was going to do is, you see the momentum up top? The momentum oscillator? Yeah. So I was going to get... So right now it changes color, red if it's below and green if it's above or whatever. What I was working on was the color of it. I wanted it to be what the net delta of the bar was. So just because it was down or up wouldn't matter for the color, but it would say, hey, maybe it's green because the delta was positive for that bar, even though momentum was down. You know what I mean? Or if it's up, but the bar is red, you know, okay, well, delta for this bar, there was a net negative cell pressure, even though the momentum was up, and it would tell you a divergence. But I kept having errors. I just couldn't get around the errors for that. But yeah, I want to include delta by cell pressure, right, in this. So it'll tell me momentum, but then the color will be whatever the delta is for that bar. So, yeah, I mean, I just had an idea, and I was working on it, and using AI, I mean, it's not easy, but it's fun. So I kind of just went down a rabbit hole, and the idea is the same of what we were looking at on TradingView, but it's different. There's a lot of different things here. Yeah, I'm sorry I talked your head off. I'm just excited. This is cool as shit. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I feel like I'm just blasting you, but I do. Sorry. Yeah, I know, yeah. Oh, I didn't talk to anybody for a couple days, so I haven't got anybody. I just did this. What do you think about the bar timer at the bottom? I didn't make that. Yeah. See, it looks like a battery, and then it tells you when the bar is about to finish, and it. I just found it online. It was a free one. Buy, sell. How about you? Hey, tell me about your stuff now. Oh, I got a signal on the 2-minute. We got a signal. I'm not going to trade it, but there it is. There's the signal. You can either get in on the signal or wait for it to confirm. The strategy from TradingView is to wait for it to confirm. Yeah, so we got a diamond. That's a shift in momentum. Background change. Below the moving averages. Everything. Order speed's like, it's getting up there, but it's not extreme. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're probably going to head down to these lows if it really wants to go. I got to get my liquidity zones working. It's awesome. It just draws a zone at these highs and lows. I like it for liquidity runs. If there's a zone there and I get a signal, I like it because I know there's going to be a lot of stops there. So if, momentum and everything's looking good into a level, some people might say, oh, it's going to be a double top. And it might be eventually, but you'll probably get a little bit of a stop run there too. So I like to mark the levels. If I get a signal going into a level or at one, I'm going to anticipate we're going to break the level and run those stops. And yeah, I'm not trying to trend trade either. I'm not trying to get into a trade for an hour. I'm just trying to get 15 points or 50 points or whatever the 1-to-1 is. Yeah, look at that go. Yeah, look at. Yeah. McDonald's has the best breakfast sandwiches. Boom! Look at this go. I'm not trading the 1 minute for anything. It's just a little bit too fast. The 2 minute seems to be nice and reliable. The 3 minute seems to be a bit slow. By the time it prints, sometimes it's ready to have a little bit of a reversal. So, yeah. And here's a good example of me not getting signals aligning. So here, Let me set this up. And I know how to use NinjaTrader better. Actually, this was an alignment. Take a look. We had an alignment right here. We got a signal on the 1 minute and the 2 minute on the same bar. So that was an alignment. That was an alignment there. But I wouldn't take it at this time of day. But still. Pardon? Yeah. For the most part. For trend trading, right? Because you want... So this was like momentum based. I guess like the other stuff we're looking at. But yeah, with momentum based, you need a lot of stops to get run, and you need people jumping in. It's like surfing in the ocean. You need people jumping in on the wave to ride the wave. So it always works better when you're in the live market and there's other people to kind of push the momentum too. You know, where pre-market it can be slow and choppy. Yeah, but when the real market comes and there's people getting FOMO, jumping in late and whatever. So I'm not saying it won't go down, but I don't know what it'll do, but I'm just saying that was... I look at the RTY had a nice signal too. Even though the friggin' moving average cloud's glitching out. So, hey, tell me about Trade with Paul. You've been looking at him. You know what? I love it. I think I feel you when you're saying I could watch him for hours, just because like the way he goes through his analysis, the way he reads the charts and the price action. Did you learn anything? Yeah, that's right. Okay. You know, I haven't heard of him. No. Yeah, he's a nice British guy. Yeah, he's really nice. No, you're right. Yeah, yeah, he's just a real guy, and you know, even sometimes I don't know how many videos you watch, but he'll do the thumbnail like a little bit like clickbait. Like he'll go, "Oh, unbeatable strategy," or "I made 800% this week," and he'll start the video by going, "Oh, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but oh, you know, whatever for the title on the video." So, yeah, yeah, no, I like the guy too. Yeah, yeah, I like him. Well, are you looking for like the results, or are you looking for the code to modify? It's in another. Oh, yeah. So that's in another server. J. Here. Mm. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. He's got a server, eh? You don't have to. So that's here. I'll be a good friend. It's incredibly accurate, dude. It's like retarded. One guy was saying there, and he's right. I think he said out of the last like 14, there was one loss out of the last 14 alignment trades. What? My language? Oh, dude, it is retarded. Okay, hey, hey, I'm a good. Hey, I just been a good friend to you. Check your inbox. So one's a video and one is the code. This is what you need to modify your. Yeah, it's free for you. I don't care. No, I don't think so. No, I don't give a shit. Come find me. You're gonna have to fight some moose and elk and some bears to come find me. Yeah, so I'll help you out with it. It's kind of like it's hard to do. Takes a bit of time, but yeah, there you go. So when you get time, do that. Everything you need's there, and I'll give you a hand. I had some troubles with it, but ended up figuring it out eventually. Hey, no problem. You're an OG in the group, eh? You're an original gangster. We call it an OG, an original gangster. No matter what happens in the group, you and Coffee are going to be the one of the OGs. So you you guys get everything for free. Always, always. Yeah, fuck. You're gonna have to quit working and fucking do all this. Oh, hey, get AI to help you. So, do you know what I used? Grok 3. It's Elon Musk's new AI. Just get AI to do it. Okay, Ray-Ban sells glasses. Ray-Ban sells glasses. The glasses have cameras in them, okay? The camera can look at your paper and it can send me the info. I'll put it in AI and you have a little earpiece, okay? And I'll talk to you and I'll send you whatever you need to know. Oh, did you cheat? Were you cheating? What? I'm going to exercise my Third Amendment right to remain silent. Oh yeah. Who? Ippa. Whoopa. I was watching a video and a guy said that. I forget what he was doing. Yeah. Okay, so he grew up in the UK, but he was like Siberian or something like that. It was a YouTube channel. Have you heard of the YouTube channel? Maybe you have. It's called Yes Theory. Yes Theory. Well, they go around and they try to get people to like do stuff they wouldn't normally do, get out of their comfort zone, and they'll find strangers. Like in this video, they found a stranger that had never left the UK, but he had a passport, and they took him to like Brazil and flew him in airplanes and took him to a soccer game, and they just do like stuff like that, or they'll go visit places in the world and talk to people and talk about their story, and you know what I mean. Try to shed light on things in the world or different places. So yeah, that's what they do. That was just the channel that I was watching. So they found a kid, and in the UK, and he was 18, and like I said, he had a passport, but he hadn't gone anywhere. But anyways, he said Opa. He's like, I forget what they were doing. They were getting into a helicopter or something. He's like, Opa. Okay, join now. Tintin. Yeah, we had a guy named Tintin in here earlier. So what about? Yeah, he was given. Well, I don't know. Not everybody talks. I don't want a bunch of people talking, to be honest. A couple of us is fine. But edit category. I don't care. Wait, why is your name Holy Moly? Yeah. Oh. Holy Grail. I'm gonna change my name to Opa Style. Opa Style. And then my theme song will be that song Gunnam Style. Whoop 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 Gunnam Style. Yeah, yeah. We'll play that. So when I come into chat, every first minute, it'll just be that theme song, and then I'll show up. Like a wrestling match or a boxing match. They play the music, and I show up with my entourage. Holy. Yeah, and an elk steak in my hand. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good, dude. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's not a lot of fat. Yeah, well, I hope you do. You'll feel like a real Canadian. You're watching the video though? Oh, you know what? Here. You know what? I'll I'll just be you know what? I'll just be a real good friend. Now here. Okay, I only sent you the modified part. So what you have to do is take that and insert it into your code that you have now. So you have to bring up Notepad++ with the original code, and then Notepad++ with the code I just sent you. And then you have to